Hello and welcome to Left Brain Trading. I'm here to tell you about version 16 of the indicator that we've just brought out. It's very exciting because it's got a lot of new features that I think you'll find very useful. Those of you who have been using Left Brain Trading for a while will remember that we brought out a version of the indicator with what we called stickies on, which helped you to identify the strength of a barrier on the framework. Well, we took that off after a while because we realised it wasn't all that accurate, but now we think we've cracked it. It's a wonderful new indicator designed by Akuma99 of beginnertrader.com, another wonderful job he's done for us. I'm very excited about this indicator because not only does it give you the stickies back again, but it gives you a visual indication of how strong those barriers are. Not only that, it allows you to adjust the sensitivity of the framework to the barriers. So depending on your trading style, you may or may not require a lot of sensitivity to the stickies. You can also switch them off, of course. Also, we allow for the fact that some suppliers put suffixes or prefixes on the ends of their currency pair identifications, and you can easily add those into the new indicator as well. Anyway, I'll just give a quick run through now so you can have a look and get an idea of what it's about. Well, here we have the new indicator, and immediately you can see that we've made a few improvements. The baseline here is in a blue so that you know not to take too much notice of it. The purple lines at the edges of the set and the green lines at the edges of the set are now solid, as they were on version 14. But when you now look at the sticky lines, which are always in red, you can see that they have the numbers back at the end of them. So this sticky line here appears on 4 other charts. And the way you can see that is simply by mousing over. And you can see what other charts that sticky applied to. It was also on a 90 at 50%, on a 236 at 38.2%, a 382 at 76.4%, and 1000 at 14.6%. So a fairly strong barrier. And here we can see, for instance, that this was on a 236 at 14% and a 382 at 61.8%. So this helps you make a judgment as to how strong that barrier is. You can see that some of these are appearing at the edges of other larger sets and in the middle of other larger sets, as well as on smaller sets that it reaches. So you can then start making your own judgment about whether this is a turn or a continuation. Of course, this has to be assessed in conjunction with the set that it's working on, but very often when you have a set that's working even, you can find that the currency gets stuck in certain places, typically on the 50% line. So this gives you added information that tells you why it's stuck there and what it's likely to do next. So take this line, for instance. It says that it's at a 14.6 on the 236 and a 61.8 on the 382. So let's have a look at the 236. And there you have it on the 14.6. It doesn't mention the 146 here simply because we haven't adjusted the sensitivity of this on this chart to the 146 line showing up. Now, this is another very important feature because what you can do is individually on each chart decide what lines you want showing up and how many of them you have in view at any one time. You can adjust the sensitivity of each chart so that you can identify how much influence another chart is having on it, another fractal. Depending on your trading style, you may want the lines more sensitive or less sensitive. In other words, you may want to see more stickies or less stickies. And to adjust this, you simply go into the indicator and you edit what we call the sticky percent buffer. As you can see, it's at 0.5 at the moment. And what this represents is how close in percentage terms the lines have to be in order to be considered identical. So there is a certain amount of leeway you can build in, and the larger that number, the more leeway there is, the more lines you'll see on your chart, and the smaller it is, the less lines you see on your chart, of course. So now with Left Brain Trading, not only do you know how big the sets are, which sets they're working on, but also you can determine within those sets, or as it comes to a barrier on the edge of a set or within a set, what is likely to happen, because you're able to identify with a huge amount of accuracy the value of a particular barrier and what it is likely to do when it gets there. If you want to get hold of the version 16 indicator, just get in contact with me by the usual methods. The forum is the best way, or by email if you like, and I will send it to you. If you haven't bought the book yet, well, having version 16 won't really help you because you won't really understand what it's all about. So best to get the book, and then you automatically receive the latest indicator and set up instructions, and you're able to start getting an idea of what it's all about. So I look forward to hearing from you, and enjoy version 16.